What's up, everybody? How you doing? Well, in the man cave working on some shit, and my shelf that holds all my vinyl records needed reinforced, so I decided to start working on that. I cleared out one cubicle so I could get to it, and all those records right here. And I thought, why not show all that stuff that was in there? It's pretty much all death metal on that side, and a bunch of good ones. So I thought this would be a freaking enjoyable video. I'm not really going to go into too much depth on each album. I may just say the year, show the album art, that type of shit. I think you guys will all like this one, hopefully. But first off, we'll just start going, just knocking them out. Atheist, of course, Piece of Time, 1990. Technical thrash, death thrash. One of the fucking best albums ever. But yeah, see if you can see this a little bit better. Kind of slide these down so you can see the artwork better. Fucking killer album. 1991's, of course, Unquestionable Presence by, of course, none other than Atheist. One of the greatest. I'm telling you, this band fucking rules. But 1991. Try to get these over here. And then the last Atheist album I'll show you that's in my collection is 1993's Elements. They really went jazzy on this one. This one I'm still trying to get into. I'm not as fond of it as I am the first two albums, but it's still pretty damn good. I will say that. It's pretty good. It's just not up to that style. Fucking killer album. Shows Canadian thrash, of course. 1991's considered dead. Canadian death metal. Hopefully I didn't say Canadian thrash. I did that the last time I tried shooting this video. But it's another fucking album that you need in your collection if you don't. Killer one. The last Gorguts I have on wax is The Erosion of Sanity, 1993. And then after that, everything else I have by them is on wax. No, on CD. On CD. These are only two I have on wax. Suffocation was next in there. Of course, Human Waste, 1990. What can I say? First Suffocation album I ever heard was this called EP, and it is one of my favorites. Of course, 1991, Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten. Everybody should fucking know this album. One of my favorite death metal albums of all time. Trying to make sure you guys can see the art through the plastic. I don't want to take all the sleeves off, but of course I just got this one recently. Reading the Spawn, finally. I used to have this on CD, but the CD is missing from the jewel case. And this is a good one. I don't care what anybody says. I love the production on this fucking album. I think it's fucking raw, brutal, and primitive. And then, of course, 1995's Pierce from Within. Last one I have by Suffocation on wax, and everything else is on CD. But this one's an absolute gem. Yes. Next up, I've shown several times. It's out of order. Catopsy, I've just recently, last year, gotten into this band. But Blasphemy Made Flesh, 1993, Canadian, technical, brutal ass death metal. Of course, I've shown this recently too, but it's in that cubicle. One of my favorites right now, Cryptopsy's None So Vile, 1996. Fucking fantastic one. My Autopsy collection is lacking. I only have I think I have 5. The other albums are in another cubicle, but the first 3 classic ones. So is right here. Of course, several survival. Can't have a death metal collection without this album. 1990, I think, or 1989. It was 1989 this one came out. Fucking love this artwork. Then Fiend for Blood EP, and of course this fucking album still has Steve DiGiorio on it, so it's still got that Severed Survival kind of feel to it. I think this one was released in 91. Fucking killer one. And of course, last but not least, Mental Funeral, which was released in 91 as well. This is an absolute must-have in your collection, in my opinion. But do not go wrong with this one. Next up, I'll just show my Death collection. My Death collection, I have, of course, I'm a huge fan. I got the cassettes, I got the CDs, and this is the vinyl portion. And I went mainly before I started collecting vinyl again. I was mainly collecting all the CDs and cassettes before I collected all the vinyl records. Of course, 1987 Scream Bloody Gore. Everybody should fucking know this one by now. Fucking killer album. 1988 Leprosy. What can I say? There's so many good songs on this one. This one's a killer one. My favorite Death album, Spiritual Healing. Always will be, forever. I love this fucking album. I love all their stuff, but this is my favorite one. Spiritual Healing. Of course, 1991. Spiritual Healing is 1990. This one's 1991. Human. Oh my God. I don't think there's a bad album. It's hard to pick one. So to put Spiritual Healing above all these, it says how much I love that fucking album. I love this album too. Love it a lot. 1993, Individual Thought Patterns. Yes, another fucking killer album. The only thing I don't like about this mix is the cymbals sound like shit. I tried listening to the CD, sounds a little bit better. The cassette, where is it? Sounds pretty good too, but fucking killer album. The Philosopher is my favorite track on that. Of course, cannot have a Death collection without Symbolic. Another absolute fucking banger. My wife found this one for me and made my day. This one was released in 95. This is a 2014 Metal Blade reissue. The rest of them are Relapse. Of course, The Sound of Perseverance, 1998. When I first heard this album, didn't care for it. It grew on me, and now I love listening to. I usually don't grab the disc a lot lately because it's double, but I listen to this cassette quite a bit. Of the killer album. And of course, the last one of the Death is Live in LA. I love this. This is recorded in 1998. It says right on the back. But I love hearing like The Philosopher and Spirit, or Trapped in a Corner, and Crystal Mountain. Symbolic, of course, Pull the Plug, with his vocal range on this one. I like how they sound. So must have in my collection, of course. Killer one. My Cannibal Corpse. Now I have to tell you, the very first death metal album technically I ever heard was this one, and I hated it. I hated Cannibal Corpse back in the day, and I just really recently, in the last 5 or 6 years, have grown to love this fucking band. So I won't have a lot of the original. I just don't have, because I got into them too late, but love this one. 1990, Beaten Back to Life. Of course, 1991, Butchered at Birth, which is my second favorite Cannibal Corpse album. The first one would be this one, of course. And then, of course, this one needs no introduction, 1991. I fucking love this album. This one, I still think this one's a very good one. Hammered Smash Face is my favorite track. Everything else is kind of, it's damn good. I'll just say that. I'll fucking love it. So, Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated, fucking killer one. It's not my favorite, of course, but it's up there. I'll say that. Of course, The Bleeding. You can't have a Cannibal Corpse collection without this one. Every track is a fucking banger. It's another one. I don't know why I love this album so much, but when I first heard it, it really struck a chord. Fucking killer album. Fucking killer one. The rest of my Cannibal Corpse collection is going to be on CD, but of course, Suicide Gallery. I fucking love this album too. From Skin to Liquid's my favorite track, the instrumental, but I Will Kill You. May have to listen to this beast later. Fucking album, that's awesome. And the last Cannibal Corpse album I have on wax would be, of course, the new one, Violence Imagined. So, yeah, this one's killer. I have the original, the other censored artwork as well of the CD, but it's just a slipcase CD. But this one's a really good fucking album. I fucking love this one. And then, of course, like I said, the rest of my Cannibal Corpse collection is on fucking CD. So, Immolation, a lot of this is on CD as well. But 1991, of course, second death metal album I ever heard, this one, and still my favorite Immolation album. This one's on the Roadrunner, or RC, I mean, subsidiary, fucking killer one. Of course, I think I just showed this one here and after, 1996. Yeah, there was a hell of a stint between albums, but man, goodness, this one's fucking killer too. Absolutely adore this album. Killer. Another Immolation album, of course, is this fucking fantastic one, Failures for Gods. I almost forgot the name of it. When I first heard this one, I didn't care for it, and now I fucking love it. I love the production because it's so raw. It's kind of like that Suffocation, Reading the Spawn. For some reason, that's why I love it. Maybe listen to this one later. And then I only have 2 more Immolation albums, sadly. I do have a shitload of Immolation cassettes and CDs, but I only have 5, I think. Immolation Close to the World Below, 2000, absolute banger. I think I just talked about this album not too long ago. And this one as well. Atonement. Love this one too. It's a fucking killer one. 2017. Just showed it recently. Of course, I need to get the new one. I still haven't. I got the new one here on cassette. I still haven't got into it. So it's one I've kind of been putting off. And then my Obituary collection, I have a lot on CD, but I have the first 3 albums, of course, on wax. The classic ones. Slowly Re-Rot, 1989. What can I say about this fucking album? Everybody knows it. Of course, one that I have several copies of, Cause of Death, 1990. Fucking fantastic album. Of course, man, everything's right here. My cassette, and I have the CD over there. Absolute banger. And the last one I have on wax would be The Incomplete, 1992, I believe, on RC. This one's a fantastic fucking death metal album. Of course, everybody knows one. I'm in Pain's my favorite track, the opening track on it. I may have to listen to this one later too. Fuck my life. Sinister is one of my favorite death metal bands as well, but I only have 2 on wax. I'll show the first one. This is not, I don't want to show it out of order. 1992, Cross the Styx. You know, this is a fantastic fucking album. I love the artwork to this one. Fucking absolutely love that artwork. And this album is killer, but it just not as good as this one. Diabolical Summoning, which I've shown several times. 1993. Absolutely one of my favorite death metal albums ever. Fucking killer album. Then my Morgoth is lacking in 2. I only have 2 Morgoth on wax. Of course, the EPs, Resurrection Absurd, and the Eternal Fall. Love that kind of merge. Of course, this one was released in '89, and this side was released in, I want to say 91, or maybe 1990. Maybe it's 1990 on this side. What can I say about this fucking album that hasn't been said before? This EP is killer. That's why I didn't want to take these completely out of the sleeve right there. Of course, 1991, Morgoth Cursed. German death metal at its finest. Fucking awesome. Then after that, Morgoth kind of dropped off for me. I do have Odium and the one that came out after that one on CD. And then off to Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, 1989 on Earache. Absolute banger. Of course, I'm not going to go into detail on these. I fucking love them. I love all these albums. 1991 released Blessed Are the Sick, which is technically the very first death metal album I got into, was this one, and it's still my favorite till this day. Till this day, this is my favorite Morbid Angel album, probably because I heard it first. Love that artwork. 1991. Next up is, of course, 1993. I still love the cassette too. 1993, this came out, and it didn't leave my tape deck forever. Still one of my favorites as well. And there's so many good Morbid Angel albums. Fucking killer album. See how many minutes? God dang, 18. Still got several to go. I'll try to get through them quick because I don't want to waste all your time. Of course, Damnation. I love this album. I won't take the sleeve out. My CD has different artwork. I do like this artwork better. To be honest, I like that green against that purple and magenta. This album, I remember when it came out too, 1995. It didn't leave my tape deck ever. It just stayed in there for days and days. I remember driving around in Florida listening to this album on Orange Blossom Trail heading to work. 1998, Formula's Fatal to the Flesh, which I just showed recently. And this one's a fantastic Morbid Angel album. I love the artwork. Of course, I've shown this recently as well. Next up is Morbid Angel album, Gateways to Annihilation. I fucking love the doomy sound of this album. Released in 2000. Fuck yes, classic. And the last Morbid Angel album I ever liked was Heretic. After that, I'm not going to jump on board with the bandwagon. I'd never had any interest in buying those on wax. I did get them on CD though. But this one's the last one I really like. When I first heard it, I didn't really care for it, but it grew on me and still one of my favorites. This one was released in 2003. And to my Incantation collection, which I have every Incantation album, but I only have like a little bit on wax. My favorite one, of course, Onward to Golgotha, 1992. Yeah. I don't have Mortal Throne of the Nazarene on wax. I wish I did. I have it on CD though. And then 1995, the first mix of Mortal Throne of the Nazarene, which is Upon the Throne of Apocalypse. They released this one in 1995, and the track listing's backwards. But I like this mix better than Mortal Throne's mix. It's a little bit more primitive, more along the lines of Onward to Golgotha, which is really muddy. I really like the sound of the muddiness. Next up, Incantation, Tribute to the Goat, of course. I fucking love this one. I think it was released, they reissued it. Fuck, I can't remember. But it has Will Romner doing vocals on it, and then of course it has Chuck Pillard as well on the B side, but A side is all Will Romner, sorry, Mortician. I love this version. I love this studio live. I love the studio shit. Sounds great. Another fucking killer Incantation record is, of course, Blasphemy. I've just recently picked this one up, and man, I should show all my Incantation. I have a shitload of Incantation albums, but this one I fucking love. I don't care what anybody says. This is a fantastic Incantation album. Then, of course, Vengeance and Vanquish and Vengeance. I love this fucking album too. I don't know when this one was released. I really can't remember. I just know I love this fucking album. Fucking killer one. Fucking killer shit. Another one, of course, is Dirges of Elysium. This one is a fucking awesome album as well. Fucking love this album as well. This one was released in 2017, I want to say. Came out about the same time Atonement by Immolation came out, so I listened to these together quite a bit, and fucking fantastic one. So, and the last one in that cubicle is one I just showed recently as well, and I fucking love this album. 2020's Sect of Vile Divinities. Fucking absolute banger. Anyway, I kind of went through those quick, and but there's no sense in making. I made favorite death metal albums and all that stuff, but pretty much it's hard to pick, and some of these albums probably got overlooked, and may not have shown those, I don't know. But anyway, I thought this was a great video idea. I may go through that other cubicle. Maybe I'll do a series of going through each cubicle of all my death metal and thrash metal on vinyl. I think that'll be a great one. This killer shit. Get to my Vader collection. Love Vader. Y'all have a good one.